You belong on every ground your feet grace, so don't ever feel out of place. Take up space and belong. This earth is your birthplace. Hey loves, welcome back to the Sensual Genius channel. In this video, I'm going to do best worst anime antagonist since I did best worst anime protagonist. And these are villains in anime that I feel like don't get enough credit. And maybe I do see y'all talk about them, but I don't see it enough, I feel. Um and we're gonna jump right into that with the first one, which is Miriam from Hunter x Hunter. I know what y'all gonna say. We think that Miriam was a great antagonist. He was a great villain. We like him as a villain and stuff. And yeah, I feel like for the most part people do, but I kind of feel like Marion really didn't get to shine for real. Like he was literally in the process of taking over the humans and like being the king and like enslaving humans and turning them into chimera ants. Was they still turning them into chimera? No, his mama was doing that. Only his mom did that. So yeah, he was about to take his seat as the king, and then this snotty nosed little girl comes into the picture and they start playing shoji. Now, I have nothing against the relationship between Miriam and the snotty nosed little girl. I forgot her name. But it got in the way of what he was doing. And I feel like we didn't really get to see Miriam in full antagonist mode. And I feel like he would have been so good at it. He started off really well. I felt like he was a great villain. That arc did last for a long time, but it didn't really end the way that you know I expected it to end or whatever. Or I'll say at least his reign didn't end the way that I expected it to end. The fight that he had with what his name was, I can't remember. Nero, Nero, something. Great fight. It was a great fight or whatever. Great fight scene for the anime or whatever. But I just kind of feel like when it came to being the ruler and taking over what he was planning to do, it just kind of got pushed to the side so he could play shoji. And I ain't got nothing wrong. I ain't got nothing against that. But and this is not me saying he's a bad antagonist. I think he is. What I'm saying pretty much is I feel like he was a good villain. He had all of the qualities. He ruled through fear. They also respected him, but I feel like they feared him more. He he was also really smart, tactical. He knew how to rule. His plan to take over was a foolproof plan, except he got bored in the midst of doing it and started playing shoji and kind of forgot about it. Started enjoying life rather than being a villain. And I don't really, like I said, I don't fault him for that, cause so I understand. I feel like he had all of the qualities of a good anime villain. Like I said, they feared him, they respected him. He was very smart and tactical about his takeover. He was very hard to beat, I would say, and a lot of times he wasn't even on the front lines. Like his soldiers, his lieutenants, I guess you could say, were strong as well. The people around him rose to the occasion when necessary. When he gave them orders, they carried out, and they knew that if they didn't carry it out, they would be dead. Like I feel like that is the to me great qualities of a great anime villain, but we just really didn't get to see him be that in full. Like we saw some of it, but not in full. And I would have liked the Chimera and arc to end differently. Like I know they were supposed to take him down. He wasn't supposed to be able to even get to like sit on the throne that long or whatever. And they did what they were supposed to do with him, but I don't know. I just wish like maybe like I feel like Hunter x Hunter owes us a lot of spin-offs. We didn't really get to see a lot of people be rise to their full attention, like, to their full potential, Miriam being one of them, also the Phantom Troop being another group of people that we didn't really get to see rise to their full potential. And I feel like, you know, they cheated us out of some things. But that's why I feel like he is best worst. Not saying that that I feel like y'all think he was bad, but I'm saying the anime didn't give him a chance to be that in full. Okay. Next is Yoshikage Kira. That to me, he gave them more of a run for their money than Dio did. Like, I feel like Dio was really hyped up. He ran from the Joestars for a long time. And I'm not saying that I didn't think he was strong or whatever, but I feel like he was really hyped up. But that fight was over so quick with them. And I know sometimes that's how it is, like with the strongest villain in the anime. Like, they will build them up, and then when it really comes time for the protagonist and antagonist to go head to head, it be over so quick. I think One Piece is the only anime who will literally do 100 episodes of one fight. And some people might not think that that's a good thing, but I want to see how hard this villain is to beat. I want to believe that this villain is really hard. Like Kaido, I feel like they literally struggled. Of course we know the fight didn't last as long as the season or the arc, but it felt like it did to me, and that's all I care about. But I feel like Yoshikage Kira, he was feared because he was ambiguous. Like, he was mysterious. They didn't know a whole lot about him to try and fight him. It took them so long to figure out who he was. Like, they had to go through so much just to figure it out. Number two, he was really smart. He was really tactical about the things that he was doing. He was a serial killer. He knew he had to be careful. He was successful in carrying out his plans until he was stopped. Plus, the battle to stop him was pretty good too. It was satisfying to me. It was pretty good too. He wasn't supposed to be like this huge villain, so I feel like for the level of villain he was, it was satisfactory. And I feel like he had them shook, he had them scrambled a lot of the times. I feel like very strategic about what he was doing, how he was doing it, being very careful and making it hard for them to catch him. So I feel like he was a really good antagonist. And I'm not saying that people don't think that he was. What I'm saying is he was just good, okay? It was hard for me to come up with this list because I feel like anime villains usually get it right. Like, they usually get it right with the villains. Not always, but they usually do. So it was hard for me to find villains with a lot of faults. Unless we're going to talk about Doofenshmirtz or somebody like that. Like, so really this list is just villains who I thought were underrated. Okay, the third person on my list is Acronologia. And I put Acronologia as best worst because I feel like y'all give Fairy Tail such little credit. But Acronologia is a stronger villain than a lot of villains in y'all favorite anime. He literally was so hard to beat. He was so terrifying that Zeref wanted to die, basically, rather than to face him. He wanted to die. Like, I just want to be dead. I don't want to face Acronologia. He wants to end the world. I'm trying to leave the world before he alive, everybody. And I unalive myself. He was terrifying. The only person who wasn't afraid of Acronologia was Natsu, and Natsu is not right in the head. Okay? He wasn't, but also, it was also out of duty. Natsu really took his role as a dragon slayer seriously, and he so he wasn't afraid of dragons. So whenever he came toe to toe with a dragon, he didn't care who it was. He was gonna fight. Simple. But I feel like the reason why I chose Acnologia is because, like I said, I feel like y'all make it seem like Fairy Tail just isn't good. But this villain to me is one of the most villainous villains in anime history. And I don't care what y'all say. He is up there. Um he put fear in people, and like, he was unbeatable. He was very cruel, nefarious. He just was an ugly person. Irene fought Urza and Wendy, and she was lying on the ground, and he literally went over to her and started stumping her, like, stumping her to death. And the only thing Urza and Wendy could do was watch. Because what am I going to do with this? I can't fight him. Did she try to confront him or something? And then I think she did try to confront him. But it took her a minute though. She watched for a little while, and that was her mama. Even though I know she didn't have no ties to that lady abandoned her. She didn't have no ties. That's why I chose Acnologia. The fourth one on my list is Isabella from Promised Neverland. Like, I don't feel like she is the worst villain, like best of the worst, but I feel like she just isn't talked about a lot. You know how terrifying that lady was to them kids? She was supposed to be their mama. She actually was one of their mama. Ray was her real son, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He hated her. He hated that lady, her own son. And these were little kids. You know how evil you gotta be to terrorize little children? To the point that they wanted to escape. They did escape. You know how terrifying you gotta be? Dressed in a maid outfit. Or how was she dressed? Dressed in like her little, housekeeper maid outfit. Terrorizing them little kids. Farming them little kids like they was cows and chickens. That lady was terrifying. She was a terrible person. Very terrible. Very, like, they feared her. She terrorized them. But at the same time, I kind of feel like when they did escape, she was a little relieved. So she was a villain, but I kind of feel like she was doing it because she felt like she didn't have a choice but to do it. But I feel like when they left, she was a little relieved. I'll say that. But she was evil. Like, that lady was evil. Like, she was evil. She gave those kids a run for their money. I know y'all like, they kids, but they were smart. They were really smart. The fact that they even found out that they were being harvested for those demons was a lot for little children. When they found that out, they decided that they were not going to sit there and wait for their turn to be demon food. And then she was an obstacle. And when she felt like she wasn't in control, she hired a black lady, a mammy. They had the nerve to put a mammy on that modern day anime. But she was a good villain as well. She's the honorable mention. She was a good villain as well. That lady was scary. The way that she was running after them kids playing tag, bruh. She was doing too much. She was on steroids or something. I don't know. She was doing too much. These were children. Could you imagine the mindset that you gotta be to terrorize little children for no reason? Well, I ain't gonna say for no reason. It was their job to do that. But, like, dang, you raised them. You don't even feel like no love or nothing like that for them. Like, I feel like she deserves to be on this list because she don't get talked about. And I know I don't really see a whole lot of people talking about horror anime anyway. And I love me some horror anime. I will say, though, The Promised Neverland dropped the ball in that second season. But that first season had me on the edge of my seat. Like, yeah. It was so good. I don't know how they dropped the ball like that. The fifth person on my list is Isaac from Castlevania. Now, if you know me, you know Castlevania is in my top 5 of anime. And I feel like Isaac was a villain to the villains. He was loyal to Dracula, and he wanted to kill everybody that betrayed Dracula. and he was successful. He allowed what's his name, the other dude, the other person who was like helping Dracula at first, he allowed him to, he spared his life, but everybody else, like, he raised an army of dead people, demons, goblins, ghouls, to help him fight those vampires, and he was successful. This was a human being now. He wasn't super, well, he had supernatural powers because of religion. It was kind of like voodoo, I guess you could say, that he was doing. Yeah, I think it was kind of like voodoo, because he was a slave or whatever, and Dracula saved him, so he was indebted to Dracula, and I really understand that. And he was like, he had the fear factor. He was relentless. He was going to hunt them to the ends of the earth. He was relentless. I'm not really gonna say he was evil. I kind of feel like Isaac got revenge out of duty rather than uh just pure vengeance. It was like Dracula was he saved me. I was loyal to him. He was loyal to me. So it's only right that I killed these people that betrayed him. And I supported it 100%. I don't really see him as a villain, but I also do see him as a villain, because he low-key was. He was a villain to villains. And I just enjoyed watching him hunt them down and kill them. It was beautiful. It was so beautiful. So beautiful. But I feel like he doesn't get talked about a lot. Castlevania don't get talked about a lot. Or am I missing something? Am I on the wrong side of TikTok or something? Am I on the wrong side of the cosplay anime community? Because I don't feel like y'all talk about it enough. And I really love Isaac's character. I wish they would give him a spinoff. That would be dope. The last one on my list is Esdeath from Akame Got Killed. Okay. Esdeath, even though she was lovesick and, in her soft girl era, she was trying to be in her soft girl era, she was ruthless. Esdeath was ruthless. Yes, they feared her. They had a hard time fighting her army, whatever. What was the dude's name? Takumi? Was it Takumi? Had a hard time dodging her when she decided that she wanted him. He went through a lot to dodge that lady, to escape that lady. He went through a lot. But I love that character so much. I wish they showed her more in the anime, but Akame Got Killed ended so quick because everybody died in the anime except Akame, which is ironic. But I think that she deserves to be talked about more. I cannot wait to cosplay her, y'all. I can't wait. I'm gonna run out with that character all the way out. I cannot wait. But this is my list of anime antagonists that I don't feel like gets the credit that they deserve, or I didn't feel like they got a fair shot to being the villain, like fully to be the villain in the anime. Let me know what y'all think about this list. Do y'all think I'm tripping? Do y'all agree with me? Who else would y'all add to this list? And who would y'all take off? Like, if it's somebody that you feel like is terrible at being a villain, then say that. Like, let's talk in the comments. I'm interested in seeing what y'all think. But thank you for watching this video. Like I said, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what you think. But I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. Before you go, check out my website at srgrahamwrites.org and subscribe to my mailing list to get exclusive updates on works in progress, other news, and blog posts. Thank you.